All right, guys, it looks like we are live. Episode 72 of Stub Luv Live. And I've got Kurt Radloff here. Man, I'm excited. He is an old school vintage baseball ticket collector. And man, you know how collectors love that stuff. Let's run. All right. Says we're live. Sounds like we're good to roll. We're good to go. So I'm kind of excited. Kurt, thank you so much for coming on. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Pretty excited
Yeah.
about being here. So thank you.
Well, we've got episode 72, and I kind of laugh all the time. I'm like, this was just one of these things where one day, Rob Pagan and I are sitting at my house, and we're like, well, let's just go live on Instagram and start talking about tickets. And now, like, we've got like a channel, we've got people that follow, and we have great collectors like you that are showing off their ticket collections. And candidly, Kurt, that's what it was all about. Finding guys like you who are really meaningful to the hobby and being able to show it off to other collectors and kind of growing this thing a little bit. So I'm really happy that you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Anything I can do to help, right, with the interest with ticket collecting and kind of show a little bit of what I've been able to accumulate and have great conversations. So I'm looking forward to it.
So it should be fun. So we've got you on. You're a big Jackie Robinson ticket collector and then vintage baseball. Before we get into kind of how you got into tickets and what you collect, because you've got such a great kind of lineup for everyone to see. We've got a lot of pictures, and we're going to show some stuff off tonight. You and I were talking before we got on about eBay.
Yeah.
And finding tickets on eBay. And you and I were kind of just chatting, and you said a lot of good things. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to tell Kurt I'm going to bring it up on the show, but we're going to bring it up on the show and talk about it again because I like talking about it. Years ago, Kurt, we would go on eBay, and I don't have the time that I did, from some years ago. And I'm busy, I'm working, you're working, but it's like almost next to impossible to find things on eBay anymore, like those hidden treasures and hidden gems. Are you finding any luck anymore?
No, not really. You're 100% correct. I think, for me, I've been collecting tickets for about 20 years now. And I actually had to even validate that because I couldn't believe it was that long. And I actually went into like my PSA submissions to figure out when, like the first one I did, and it was like around 2008. Just so that gives you an idea how long ago it was.
Yeah.
eBay for me, right, 15 years ago used to be great in the sense that like I could just randomly find tickets that were listed and they didn't really have any context, no references to players. It didn't call out any events. And if I did my research correctly, like I could find out, oh, hey, this is an important ticket. And in full disclosure, like what we talked about, like a lot of the tickets that I got from Jackie Robinson Steals Home, I got those early in my ticket collecting venture, and I picked them up at relatively very affordable prices. Now it's like it's next to impossible to get them, and everybody knows that it's a Jackie Robinson Steals Home ticket, and it's worth thousands now, where I would pay less than 100, right? So it's definitely changed. The ticket collecting in general clearly has changed. I mean, think about it for yourself from the time you started to now. People are just more savvy. They're more knowledgeable. They're more informed. And I think that's a testament to what ticket collecting has brought about, right? It's research, it's exploring, and it's really collecting. It's not just an accumulation. Like you think about picking up a 1954 Topps Hank Aaron card, right? Like you can like accumulate, like everybody can accumulate cards. It's about finding the 1957 Hank Aaron walk-off home run ticket where they clinched the pennant, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
little different, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fascinating thing to think about where tickets collecting have gone to where they are now. But yeah, eBay is completely different now. It's you really got to work hard, and it's almost harder to work hard to do it now at this point.
Yeah. I was saying to you, I mean, I think some of these guys, and God bless them, I think they either don't work or they don't work hard at their jobs, because these guys are on it like 24/7, and it's almost really impossible to find anything. And, those kind of lucky hits where you'll have like something as a saved search and you get that notification like, oh my goodness, it's on eBay. And you you'd have a chance with one or two other people. Now you're fighting over it with 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 people. And it could be such a rare item that you'll never see it again. So the only way to get it now is to kind of overpay. So
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's been like clearly the eBay thing hasn't been as rewarding as it has been in the past. And I think I've just learned to understand that that's just going to be the case, right? It's also been one of those things where I've tried to get a little bit more creative too. Also, I've seen some collectors start digging into like ticket lots now. Right now, like I've seen ticket lots like maybe 50s and 60s White Sox tickets would show up, and it's just like, all right, now I got to look through every single one of these images, look at every single box score to figure out maybe there's one ticket in here that might have like a DiMaggio home run or something, or a Ted Williams home run. I don't know. Like, and do I really want to dive after a whole collection? And who knows? But but that takes work, right? Like you're still looking up images of 20 different tickets. You're looking at the box score and you're diving into the box score, and you know how it is. Like it's sometimes even deeper than what the box score tells you. Like, who knows? You might come across somebody's debut that you didn't realize was in there. And yeah, that could be a game changer for you, right? So
it could be the hunt's always the most fun and the best part of this deal. So let's talk a little bit about you and your collection. So you told me when we spoke, and we always do a little bit of research before the show, that you've been doing this 20 years, collecting tickets for 20 years. And it's kind of funny because when I hear that, I'm like, that's an awful long time in the ticket world. Are you sure, Kurt? And then you did the research, you look back, and it really was 20 years. But you started in cards, like many of us do, and then you migrated to tickets. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, card collecting has always been a part of my life. Like I've done it since I was a kid. I probably took a little bit of a sabbatical in college because, at colleges, you never have any money to buy anything. So but then after that, I, picked it up after college and was continuing to collect and really stayed with vintage stuff. But as I got deeper into it, like I moved into Wisconsin, that's where I live now. And when I was living in Wisconsin, at the time, I'll say the early 2000s, there was only really one card show to go to, and that was in Milwaukee. So I'd have to drive to Milwaukee to go to this card show. And it was a good card show, but it was once a month, and the grind of going to card shows and stuff. So I started to venture out and do more. I started actually driving back into the suburbs of Chicago, and I drive 3 hours into the suburbs to try to catch shows. And one particular show I went to, it was kind of the same thing, same cards, vintage, unopened boxes and new stuff, same old. But there was one vendor there, and he had tickets, and he probably only had like 30 tickets. And they were all baseball tickets. And what was really cool about it is that he had the tickets in a top loader, and then he had a little piece of paper and he would have that sticking like halfway out of the card holder. And he would write down all the things that would happen to the players on it. And I was like so fascinated. And so I would pick it up and I would read it like I was reading a box score, right? And I was just kind of like, this is really cool. Like this is something more than what I would normally get out of collecting. And so at that moment, I just randomly bought a couple of the tickets. I have both of them that I still kept in my collection, but they're really insignificant. It's not like I just stumbled across something amazing. But that's what triggered it. It just became different. It transcended my interest in collecting more than just, like I said, accumulating baseball cards. It was like I was doing more. And once I started doing that and checking the box scores, man, I was hooked at that point. So
That's great. That's great. And it seems like you've picked some really good niche avenues to go down. You know, we've known each other for a little bit. Say hello and talk some at the National. You and I have done a couple of smaller deals because I like Jackie Robinson too, and
Yep.
you know, you're a good guy. You know, sometimes you'll be like, oh, you know, I've got a double of this, and you know, I'm willing to part with the double. But you've gone down some really good roads, and one of the primary parts of your collection is the Jackie Robinson Steals Home collection of tickets.
Yeah, I think as you think about the evolution of like my ticket collecting and digging into the box scores, two things that came really kind of rose to the surface for me, and one of them was Jackie Robinson. And the more I learned about him, the more I learned to really appreciate him. But the other thing is just I did some research to learn more about how he stole home, and he's obviously famous for stealing home in the World Series, but he was one of the modern day, right, kind of base stealers that really did steal home on a regular basis. And so that was pretty fascinating to me. And so I started to just kind of slowly pick that up along the way, and I would start looking for stuff. And like I said, I picked up a lot of that stuff early in my collecting at a point where people probably weren't looking at maybe the finer details of a box score, and was able to kind of pick those up. And so I've amassed a pretty good collection up to this point for it. And I love it. It's a great little niche. I don't know if there's anybody else out there trying to chase it. I certainly hope not, because it's hard to do. And I don't want to compete with anybody, but you know, but at the same time, I'm incredibly grateful for what I've been able to accumulate to this point. So
Jackie stole home 20 times in his career.
Yes.
19 times during the regular season, and then the one very famous steal in the 1955 World Series Game 1.
Yep, that's correct.
So only 20.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this, trying to put this run together for a long time, Kurt.
Yes.
and so I'm gonna show a couple. Let's get one on here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You know, we got to at least put it up and look. PSA is doing you right. You know, they're putting up there, you know, steals home for the 13th time. And, you know, they're putting the right stuff on the slab. And, you know, I'm sure you're asking Matt Fuller for that, and he's happy to oblige because they look great. So I guess the 5 that you're missing, well, tell me, the June 24th of 1947, that's the first time that Jackie stole home.
Yeah.
That has one ever surfaced, period, that you're aware of?
No, I have not seen anything. I check the PSA population report pretty regularly. Not that that's necessarily an indication. I think it's just a baseline, right, to look for it. But I had not seen anything that has been graded at this point. I haven't seen anything come up for auction, any of the listings I've done. And as you know, Sean is obviously a 47 Jackie Robinson collector as well. For those of you that know Sean, he is somebody that, you know, I would certainly have to compete with. We always kid that if it ever comes up, we're hoping that 2 come up, and so that we could each have one. Otherwise, we may have to like share it. But anyway, Sean's a great guy. But
yeah, he is.
Yeah, I've not seen that one. The other ones that I'm missing too as well. 4 of them I don't see in the PSA population. The only one that I have seen that actually has graded examples is the last one, the 1956 one at New York Giants. That one actually has, I think, maybe 2 graded examples and 1 full example. I think there's a full out there.
So that's the only one in the PSA pop report that you need, that you know exists, because it's in the pop report.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So I think you were saying out of the 5 you need, are 3 of the 5 are at Pittsburgh?
Yeah, of the 5 I need, 4 of them are on the road, and then 3 are in Pittsburgh. 1947, 1948, and 1954 are all in Pittsburgh.
It's unbelievable. You know what, Kurt? You've got to find a way to somehow get out to Pittsburgh or run ads in Pittsburgh. I don't know how else you're going to find them. I mean, maybe luck at the National, but
Yeah.
it would take a lot of luck, I think.
I think I'm going to have to hit the pavement and literally just like start with the city of Pittsburgh and then go from there and just kind of circle as far as I can outside of that city to see if I can find anything. Because, yeah, you're right. Like at this point in time, that's going to be a hard one for sure.
So how often are you seeing the Jackie Steele's home tickets? I mean, we'll talk about it in a second. I want to show it because there were a couple in the Heritage auction
Yep.
that just took place. But I guess, you know, the question is, you know, where are you finding these period anymore?
Yeah, again, most everything I found is on eBay. I've accumulated a couple through people that I know, through trades or, you know, through a cash sale. I feel like I still have faith that they're gonna actually emerge. I do. Like you said, the one there was one that was on Heritage that just ended, which was one that I had not seen in the population report, and all of a sudden, I think 3 of them came up within a matter of several months.
Okay.
So that was a good thing, and a lot of the ones that I've already have, I still see newer ones coming up and are in the population from a standpoint of like more are coming to market, which is good, right? That's a good sign for me that at least that. Right. The more and more ticket collecting gets popular, I think the more these start to come up, right?
Yeah.
And get graded. And it's Jackie Robinson. And I think people are aware that, you know, he stole home. And I think people are starting to learn more and more about like there's an attraction there and a value there. So
Yeah.
I have faith that they'll start popping up. But as you know, right, as you know, when you're collecting, especially with such a niche like collection, and then as you get closer to kind of finishing it, it becomes that much more difficult for those ones that you really need to pop up. But
yeah, of course, it's going to be hard. And you know, with Sean out there and his 47 collection, man, I don't know. That first one, you know, it's going to be whoever finds it in a non-publicized space.
Yeah, I think somebody's going to have to find it not knowing or having it like, right, basically called out that it's a Jackie Robinson Steele's home ticket.
Yeah, that's for sure. So the one thing you said, Kurt, and I thought it was pretty crazy that, you know, you were picking these things up, I think, for relatively no money early on. And, you know, that's phenomenal. The fact that they are, and let me try to navigate this a little bit. The fact that you're seeing that back in the day, you know, you were just smart enough to nab them. I guess maybe, and let me see if I can pull this up a little bit. That's not necessarily so true anymore because it seems like these tickets have really kind of gone crazy.
Yeah.
These Jackie Steele's home tickets. And let me see if I can pull this up. I think I have this. Yes. So this is a sale, and I think I can expand this a little bit. This is a sale of a Jackie Robinson Steele's home ticket. This was in the very recent Heritage auction that closed on September the 27th. This is Jackie's second Steele of home. And I guess also it probably is a little more popular because it's a 1947 Dodgers ticket. But Kurt, look at the price.
I know.
Look at the price, Kurt.
Yeah, I actually had a qualifying bid, and I moved it up a little bit, but not nearly that high. I have that ticket. It would have been basically a replacement of what I have. Mine's a pretty poor version of it. This is a really nice example, which again I would appreciate. But yeah, I kind of bowed out pretty quickly, and the fact that it ran up much higher than I would have thought is pretty crazy. So
I mean, that's a real number. I
Yeah,
mean, that's a big number for any kind of ticket, but yet, tickets that not that long ago were selling for a fraction of that are now, selling for this kind of number. I mean, that's pretty wild. And the interesting thing was there was a second one in
yeah,
that auction, a Jackie Steele's home,
yeah,
and that one was home run number 10. So it's a 1949 Dodgers ticket
yeah.
that still sold for $1,700.
Yeah. Again, I didn't bid on this one. I already have it. I actually have a pretty nice version of it, but I thought that was crazy. I watched that one because knowing what I have, I was just kind of curious what it would go for. And I didn't pay nearly that much for it. But
Yeah.
I think there's two factors here that might drive the price up for this one. One is it is actually a Steele's home ticket. The other thing is 1949 was his MVP year, which I think is a pretty attractive year if you're collecting Jackie Robinson tickets, right? So the rarity score is there as well. I don't know how many are in the population. I want to say there was only 4, so there's not a lot of them out there. So
Not that many. Yeah. So
yeah,
I guess that's the thing. So other than Jackie Robinson steals home,
yeah,
super cool. It's Jackie Robinson. You've picked probably the player that everyone should collect if you're
yeah,
going to be a collector of this stuff. And then you go ahead and you pick this niche that's probably the thing that most people remember about Jackie and his playing career. I mean, obviously everyone knows him as breaking the color barrier, but
right.
to go ahead and have that, it's just phenomenal. So I hope you find the 5 you're looking for. I certainly do, and
Yeah, thank you. People like yourself and Sean and others know what I'm collecting, and you guys are always aware of it.
trying.
And yeah, and I get it, right? Like, there's probably not a ticket in my collection I wouldn't give up to get a Jackie Robinson Steele's home ticket that I need. So I have all these other collecting things that I like to do, but I would probably give up almost anything for that. Like, to try to put that stuff together would be pretty awesome. So
Yeah. So tell me, Kurt, what else are you collecting? I know you collect the Jackies. What other kind of vintage baseball are you collecting?
well, so obviously because Jackie Robinsons don't come up that often now, I'm still collector, so I got to find something else to do, right?
Yeah.
Baseball has been always my thing, right? Like I mean, I've got a small number of like football for the most part, but baseball is my thing. So I love baseball. And what's really for me is when I think about baseball, the game itself, like I think about the box score, like we talked about, right? Like, and what a player did in a particular day on any, in a particular game. And if I had to sum it up, like, what do I do now from a collecting standpoint? I collect Hall of Famers that do Hall of Fame things in games, right? Like, I stick with Hall of Famers. Like, I like tickets where there's no hitters, perfect games. But I collect the Hall of Famer ones. Like, I'm not worried about David Wells' perfect game. Like, I don't really care about that one. I like Sandy Koufax, right? Like,
Right.
I like the cycle tickets. Like, you see
Yeah.
that's the
So
Jackie
we have this one up
Robinson.
here. Jackie Robinson hits for the cycle.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean,
Like,
so you're collecting Hall of Famers
yeah,
that hit for the cycle in a game.
yeah. Like, I really like the cycle thing. Like, to me, that's almost exemplifies what it is I like to collect. Like, that's a Hall of Famer doing amazing things in a particular day. That if somebody went to that game and saw Jackie Robinson hit for the cycle, like, there's a reason why they kept the ticket stub, right? Like, that's pretty awesome, right? Yeah,
So
there's
so
the
so here
Billy
we go.
Williams one, right?
Ted
That's a
Williams hit for the cycle. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And what's really cool about that one is that was a natural cycle. I don't know if you know the terminology for the natural, but he actually got them in order of a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. Like, that's what they call the natural cycle. So, and that's
Wow.
only been
So
done a handful of times. And I appreciate you showing this, because if Matt Fuller is watching this right now, this is a ticket that he's been coveting. So
he needs. I think I said Ted Williams. I meant to say Billy Williams. It's a Billy Williams that hits the cycle.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. That's
So
great.
I'm sure I'm going to hear from Matt at some point.
And then, of course, you've got Yaz hitting
Yeah.
for the cycle. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I gotta tell you, it's pretty cool niche. It's a cool little side way to collect a tremendous moment in a Hall of Famer's career. It's phenomenal, Kurt.
yeah, thank you. I think it just, right, like that's been my focus. It's just, to me, it's about the box score, right? Like it's about, that's how I started in ticket collecting. I was researching the box score, and that's how I gravitated towards a lot of this stuff. And as you know, there's obviously things that go deeper than the box score, and
Yeah.
and I love that. I love that about people like yourself, and Sean does the same thing, and you guys go a little bit deeper than what a box score tells you, and because it really, the ticket tells the story, right?
It really does.
But
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated by the game of baseball. Always loved the box score and researching it and understanding it. And to me, it just makes sense to try to focus in on Hall of Famers when they're basically doing that Hall of Fame stuff. So
You said that to me when we were talking on the phone, and to be honest with you, I thought you put it very nicely, and
thank you.
it's cool to have that. So like stuff like this too, I thought this was pretty cool.
Well,
You've done a little bit of a run of Hall of Famers hitting 3 home runs in a game.
yeah, this one's really cool because this is actually Eddie Matthews' rookie year. And I think it's the last 3 homers he hits in his rookie year. And he hits a 3-homer game. And it's the only 3-homer game he ever had.
It's great. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then you've got, let's keep going. Willie Mays.
Yeah, Mays has done it a couple of times. And I think Mays even had a 4-homer game. Not that I wouldn't do 4-homer games. That's pretty rare. I would certainly jump on one if I ever saw one, but only a couple Hall of Famers have done 4 homers for the most part. But yeah, 3-homer games, I just think that's an incredible thing. Yeah, and there's the Mantle one, which I really appreciate that one. That's one of my more coveted ones.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you're doing all kinds of milestones. You're doing no hitters, cycles. But like you said to me, Hall of Fame players acting like Hall of Fame players in a game, 3 home run games. And then you also have, just because you've been doing this for 20 years, you said to me, hundreds of tickets where Hall of Famers have either just hit grand slams in a game, walk-off home runs, and how phenomenal.
Yeah, I really got into the grand slam and the walk-off home run thing. Like, I think what ended up happening is, like, I would dig into the box score, and I think as baseball fans, I think we're enamored at the walk-off home run, right? Like it's that excitement that you just don't know when it happens, but when it happens, right, the game is over and it's exciting, and right, baseball does no shortage of glorifying the theatrics around, right, the walk-off home run.
For sure.
But walk-off home runs have been happening for a long time, and I got a really large collection of walk-off home runs. I think a lot of them are up here, but I've got all over the place.
Cool.
I just found that to be really fascinating. And the Grand Slam too, right? Like the Grand Slam is just one of those just things that, like,
it's a grand salami, man. It's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah, and then I started finding walk-off grand slams, and then you've got like the ultimate grand slam, which is like which I've got a couple of those tickets, which are pretty fascinating, right? Like,
tremendous.
I think that again becomes, it's the in-game event that that drives me to the association of that particular ticket, because I think a lot of collectors have said that, like, especially when it comes to like ticket stubs. It's like, the theory is that ticket stub was actually like used by somebody to get into that seat to watch that game, and they saw that happen. They saw that grand slam. They saw their favorite player, that Hall of Fame player, right, like hit that walk-off home run. And to me, that transcends any sort of collecting that I had ever seen in the baseball card world. Like, I couldn't get that attached to it. Like, this is so much more closer to me that I can actually get attached to, which makes ticket collecting so much more gratifying.
I agree. Much more special than cards. You've got just a few oddball, I would say phenomenal vintage baseball tickets, Bob Feller's no-hitter, and I think you're trying to put together all of his no-hitters and a few
I'd
of
like to.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are
opening
great.
day one is a really hard one to find.
But. Yeah, I've heard so much. Perfect Games, Sandy Koufax, Perfect Game. I mean, that's a phenomenal ticket, has really risen in value.
Yeah, great story for that one, Howard. Let me tell you real quick. We talked earlier before the show about how you buy something on eBay and then like you're at home praying daily that it actually shows up, right? Like I bought this ticket on eBay and the who I bought it from, the guy was in Hawaii. And I'm like, there's no way I'm getting this. There's no way. This is never showing up. And like weeks went by and I'm like, I'm just going to have to file a claim with eBay because it's never showing up. Right. And then all of a sudden one day it came in the mail and the whole thing is like, I think I dropped to my knees and I was like, I can't believe I own this. Right.
Great one. It's phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, it's Sandy Koufax and it's one of, if not the best moment of his career.
Yeah.
And then, you have, you're collecting all kinds of, little niche things, little sets.
Yeah, no hitters are again. It's the pitcher's way of basically being right. Basically doing Hall of Famers doing amazing things on right. The Hall of Famers do in games, and that's the pitcher equivalent of the grand slam, the walk-off home run, or whatever. Like throwing a no hitter is kind of the ultimate thing that any pitcher wants to do.
So we've been going for 31 minutes, Kurt. Like I told you, it's going to feel like 6, and it does. And I kind of been watching the little monitor up there, and I can't believe it. If you're on Stub Luv Live, you've got to do the gauntlet. So let's run the gauntlet with Kurt Radloff. And I want to just say you on Instagram, you're vintage_sports_tickets.
Yes.
And you've got some stuff posted on Instagram so people can go on there. So let's run the gauntlet, Kurt. So stub or full?
Oh, stub, without a doubt. Yeah, we talked about that, right? Like it's the whole idea that the stub was actually there at the game. It's no doubt.
Okay. And I think I know where you're going to answer this one. PSA, Beckett, or no slab at all?
PSA. Yeah, I'm pretty diehard there. I mean, I don't think any grading company is ever going to be perfect, but they've been consistent with their approach and they continue to try to evolve to be better for the industry. And I commend them for that. And so they've always done me right. So I have no reason to complain. So I stick with PSA.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. And I will say again, I thought they really did a nice job at the National this year.
I agree.
Debuts or moments?
Oh, moments. Like I can appreciate the debut. I just haven't been able to get on board with it, even to this day, where I know it generates incredible popularity. And I think there's definitely a collecting, interest out there for a lot of people, but I just never got on board with debuts. It's moments for me, without a doubt.
Maybe I should edit this one for you. Moments or milestones?
Oh, that's a good one. I say moments. I feel like it just goes back to what happened in that particular game in that moment, right? Like, I mean, a milestone could happen in that, but to me, it's about moments more than anything.
A PSA 10 ticket or a PSA Pop 1 ticket?
Oh, Pop 1. I think the intrigue and the finding of it. I feel like sometimes when I find these tickets, I'm saving them, right? Like I want them to be available and bring them out to the world. And I think the population itself is important. That low pop is more important than a high grade, without a doubt.
See, we're going to call you the savior from now on. You're the savior. You're doing God's work.
I'm doing it. Right. Like I tell my wife that all the time when we go to like these, like, just random, like, flea markets or stuff. And I see something and I'm like, I just got to save this. Like this ticket can't be here. This, it's gotta be in my collection and it's gotta be made available. Somebody appreciate it.
Autographed or signed tickets or unsigned tickets?
I don't do signed. Like I've never done signed. Again, not opposed to it. If I were to want to acquire one, I would be more likely to not acquire one without a signature.
Right.
yeah, it's just never been for me. So
Yeah, you keep it in the original
I,
form.
yeah, I feel
Old
like there's,
school.
yeah, 100% exactly.
I got you. I got you. So here's a couple that are kind of tailored to you. Jackie Robinson, 1955 World Series Game 1, steals home. Is he really safe or is he out, Kurt?
Oh my gosh.
Yogi
I'm gonna
Berra thought he was out, man.
I'm going safe, and I'm gonna stay with safe. I am with you. I've seen and heard so much from Berra and anybody that's in Berra's camp saying that he was out, but like my indication is that he was safe.
Yeah. Um, what do you think the most potential future gain is in these milestone tickets? Is it 3,000 hits, 300 wins, 500 home runs, perfect games, something else?
That's a really good question. I, I think perfect games is
Yep.
probably one that I think that just the rarity of it,
Yep.
right? Like in
I
general,
knew
like
you were going to say that. Yes, that's the
yeah,
right answer, I think.
yeah. I not that I think I I've always felt like 3,000 hits was kind of an overrated stat. Like that's a longevity thing, right?
Yep.
Like I think you can. I think it's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that it's not a good milestone, but um, it just is more about longevity. I think perfect game is something that's just so incredibly rare and unique, and it just doesn't happen that often. That the rarity score there just drives that one.
I agree with you. I agree with you. More, I should say, more undervalued in the hobby, Willie Mays or Hank Aaron?
Oh, that's a great question.
They're both pretty undervalued, in my opinion, Kurt.
I
So,
yeah, I think Hank Aaron. I honestly do. Like I'm probably saying that because it's a little closer to home with me being in Wisconsin, and I don't think in my surrounding area Hank Aaron is necessarily undervalued, but I think what you get outside of the greater Milwaukee area, Wisconsin,
yep,
like I just don't think Hank Aaron gets nearly as much credit that he deserves in the hobby. Um,
I agree with you. I
Willie
agree with
Mays was great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I don't, I can't argue that one. But when it comes to undervalued, I think Hank Aaron I think at some point in time, his stuff should continue to go up.
Yep, agreed, agreed. And I don't want to say that these two names are necessarily overvalued, but I think a lot of times people do talk about them as their stuff is expensive, and maybe it shouldn't be, or maybe it should be. More overvalued in the hobby, Sandy Koufax or Joe DiMaggio, because they're both pretty overvalued.
Yeah, I tend to lean towards DiMaggio,
Yeah,
and personally, like
yeah,
I feel like his performance on the field and as a player was great. He's probably more notably known for his hit streak, right? Like is for
yeah,
anything. But I mean, there's an argument that could be made. Several of the MVPs he won, he probably shouldn't have won the MVPs. He wasn't maybe the best player in the league, and I don't want to necessarily go down those debates. But
yeah, yeah.
like as a player itself, like he was just fascinating because of he played in New York City and
Married
he
Marilyn Monroe,
in right
that gives
exactly
him some cred that maybe,
right.
is outside of baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, Sandy Koufax, his dominance over that period of time, regardless of him ending his career at 32 and short
Yeah.
lived, I don't know if we'll ever see anybody that was just so dominant as he was as a left-handed pitcher. And I think there's a testament there that he commands probably what he's worth in the hobby world.
Okay. Now, God forbid this happens, but let's say your house is on fire. You only get to grab 3 tickets. Which 3 are you grabbing, Mr. Radloff?
All right, well, I'm definitely grabbing. Oh my God, that's like I have all my Jackie Robinson steals home tickets in a box. Can I grab one box?
You can grab the box. Yeah,
all
you grab
right,
the box.
all right, grabbing
That's
one
fine.
box.
That's fine.
From a ticket perspective, I actually have the Joe DiMaggio hit streak ticket.
Yeah,
Um,
you were
the
telling me that.
game where he broke the Willie Keeler's record, game 45. I would definitely grab that. That's one of my prized possessions. I would say is one of my Grail tickets for sure.
Okay.
Um,
It's very cool.
I would definitely grab that. Gosh, man, I would want to grab every single Jackie Robinson ticket I own. I don't know. At that point in time, if I can't grab all the Jackies, I'm just going to go down with a burning house, I think, at that point.
Go down with the tickets.
I'm going to hug them all and just cry.
It's funny. That's great. Well, Kurt, you've been a pleasure to have on. So happy whenever I see you. I only really get to see you once a year, but it's good times. We always get a chance to chat. You're really good for the hobby. Again, your vintage _sports_ tickets on IG. Kurt Radloff, I really do appreciate you coming on. Episode 72. Wow, 72 of Stub Luv Live is done. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Howard. Pleasure. Appreciate it.